Hello folks, this week has seen the opening up of the final bits of content for The War Within, at least until the midnight pre-patch drops. We're now at this stage of a World of Warcraft expansion where a lot of people are taking their end of expansion break as they look forwards to that new expansion. But for those of us who plan to stick around until the bitter end, there is still a bunch of stuff to do, some of which is new and some of which is old. And one of those things is Legion Remix, with the mysterious Phase 5 of Legion Remix going live, and it's turned out to have a few surprises in store. Content-wise, there is a very short farewell questline starting with Moratori. This asks us to bid all of our Infinite Dragon friends at the Bazaar a goodbye, including Hemet Nessingwiri's Infinite Armoredin, who has some fun dialogue. And the other quest is a breadcrumb to introduce us to the other main new content addition, Lost Legion Infernos. These are brand new rare elite enemies offering us some fresh ways to earn those juicy rewards, including a new blank Doomsayer's pamphlet, which you can use to send emote messages to other time runners in the area. That latter quest for the Lost Legion Infernos appears to be a weekly quest, meaning that we can probably earn one of those blank Doomsayer's pamphlets every week through to the end of Legion Remix. Along with those quests, the item level cap is being increased all the way to level 779 through a new upgrade currency, Flawless Threads of Time, which will be replacing the motes of time for your upgrades. And to help speed us to maxing out all of our characters, we can now scrap existing motes and threads, turning them into mementos of Epoch's challenge, helping those of us who have not yet maxed out an infinite trait to get even closer to being done. And if you're looking for some more enemies to defeat, then we'll also be seeing the appearance of many more world bosses from other expansions who will be spawning on an 18-hour cadence, offering much faster loot and currency drops. And if you're out there still trying to catch up or just trying to level up some more alts, the Infinite Research quests will now be awarding a new stacking 3% XP buff, which will allow you to go all the way up to another 30%, although I'm personally not sure how impactful that is going to be, given the other XP buffs that we already get from Legion Remix. Despite all of this, there was one thing that was a little bit absent, and that was the originally promised extra rewards. This was widely predicted to be player housing items, but those player housing items were added to the vendor last week. Now, I personally wasn't expecting a huge amount from this final phase, and so I think that what we got is perfectly okay, but at the same time, it does feel a little bit like Blizzard oversold it in their marketing on the rewards front. But if Legion Remix is not your thing, then for our regular retail characters, there's also the return of the Brawlers Guild after far too long. As always, the Brawlers Guild is invite only, but the process of getting an invite this time around is a lot easier. If you're new to the Brawlers Guild, you just need to head over to the upgrade area in Donegal, where you will find Horde NPCs to the left and Alliance NPCs to the right. And one of those NPCs will offer you a breadcrumb quest to go to the Brawlers Guild. For the Alliance, this will be in the Deep Run tram, where you will find the turn-in NPC hiding just around the corner of the back platform in the tram station. And for Horde, they hang out just outside the main entrance portal in the Valley of Strength. Handing in the quest will give you another quest, which will allow you to purchase your invite for just 50 gold. Now, if you already had an invite to any of the previous Brawlers Guild, then those quests will not be there, and you can just head straight over to the Deep Run tram or the Brawlgar Arena, where that final NPC will offer you the final quest that's available for everyone, asking you to head into the guild and talk to the bouncers to get started. For the Alliance, the entrance to the Brawlers Guild is under the tram platforms. As you come into the Deep Run tram, just head down this ramp to the left, go under the tracks and down the ramp, and in the Horde side, it's this portal on the main Brawler arena building. Now, if you're someone who's completely new and unfamiliar with the Brawlers Guild, it's basically a series of single boss encounters that can be played solo. There are 8 ranks in total, and progressing to the next rank requires defeating 4 bosses, one after the other. The final rank 8 has no bosses, which means 28 bosses to defeat in total. Now that might sound a bit daunting, but the encounters are mainly pretty short, maybe lasting at most 5 minutes, and focus very heavily on executing just 1 or 2 mechanics. What makes the Brawlers Guild a little bit different though is that the encounters are not instanced. Instead, you have to queue up with other players for your chance in the arena. How long that queue lasts does depend on how busy the guild is, but while you wait, you do get to watch the other players taking on their bosses in their fight. This tends to create a very unique and super social vibe, which for me is a big part of the fun of the Brawlers Guild. If it's busy, players tend to meme and interact organically, and there are lots of little vignettes that happen, such as a streaker in the arena or angry NPCs who will try to pick a fight with you as you spectate. Defeating those bosses will, as well as allowing you to progress your character, grant you Brawlers Gold, a currency that you can use to buy little benefits, such as buff potions or even a ticket to the VIP rooms. And for older hands to the guild, there's one very nice new quality of life improvement, and that is that you will now always spawn inside the guild after a wipe. Those older hands will remember that back in the day we used to spawn outside. For the Alliance, that was right down in the Stormwind Park, giving a very lengthy run back, albeit we were able to spend some of our precious Brawlers Gold to get a spawn point inside the guild for a limited period of 30 minutes. But as in those days, the main rewards from the Brawlers Guild also cost us Brawlers Gold, you'd not always be very willing to make that spend. As you level up, you progressively unlock rewards, which this time around cost normal gold, meaning that you will be able to freely spend your Brawlers Gold on those event buffs. At rank 2, we get the Brawlers Barricade Decor item. Rank 3 gives us some returning pets, Clockham and Tyler Grondon. Rank 4 gives us a teleport ring that can port us to the guild on a 1-hour cooldown. This is actually a very useful item, as it gives us a relatively short cooldown port to Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and it can be used even when the Brawlers Guild isn't active. At rank 5, we'll get the Brawlers Guild Tabard and a new punching bag decor item. Rank 6, the Brawlin Bruno mount. At rank 7, the Champion Brawlers Gloves decor item. And at rank 8, we get the Ballistic Bronco mount, the returning Brawlers Garb ensemble, and an heirloom fist weapon, the Brawlers Razor Claws. And if you want more Brawlers Guild action after you hit ranks 8, you can also continue to challenge bosses of your choice, including returning bosses from previous guilds. And defeating those bosses does come with a chance of getting some Brawlers Guild exclusive shirts, with 18 in total to collect. Now, compared to the Brawlers Guild's last outing in Battle for Azeroth, the new guild only has 4 brand new bosses. Sunny at rank 1, the Quacken at rank 2, Glorp at rank 4, and Renegade Swabby at rank 7, with the rest of the bosses you'll be encountering being returners from previous guilds, meaning that for old hands, some of this may end up feeling a little bit samey. By far, the best way to enjoy the Brawlers Guild is to set aside a few hours at a time in order to progress as much as you can, as being in that queue and watching other players fight is a big part of the whole experience. I do think that the Alliance version of the guild is much better than the Horde one atmosphere-wise, so if you have a fully geared Alliance character, I'd recommend running that one through. But no matter what, I do recommend giving the Brawlers Guild a go, even if you've done it before, as I found that the nostalgia factor made it quite a bit fun to progress through again, though I'm not entirely sure that I will want to keep going once I do get my character to rank 8, as I was a little bit disappointed that we only got 4 new bosses being updated out of the 28, and also that there was no questline to complete this time around. Part of what made the last outing of the Brawlers Guild in Battle for Azeroth The success it was its questline, which offered us a cool murder mystery, along with encouragement to try out all of the many other features of the Brawlers Guild. And I do hope that Blizzard will continue to update the Brawlers Guild through Midnight and beyond, especially adding some new bosses, but also hopefully at some point a brand new questline. There are very few opportunities in World of Warcraft for organic socialization like what we get for the Brawlers Guild. And in fact, for me, the Brawlers Guild has always been the most successful example, at least in this modern era. And of course, once you're done with the Brawlers Guild, player housing is continuing to deliver in terms of other things to do. This week, Blizzard announced that a major bug, which allowed some players to create floating houses, was being fixed by making those floating houses a built-in feature of the game, which was a pretty major W move on the part of the dev team. Along with this, we're getting a 25% increase in the exterior decor limit, taking it to 250. Now, this probably still isn't high enough for many players, but it is still very welcome, and in the developers update, the team have promised that they will be monitoring the performance impact of the increase, with a very clear implication that there may be more increases to come, at least if the servers can end up coping with it, of course. Now, if you haven't yet maxed out your housing track, there are still some other new ways to collect decor, and thus personal housing XP emerging, including a bunch of drops from some old and new dungeons and raids. By far the best way to find out what decor items are still out there for you to collect is to use the add-on Homebound, which just in the last week has had a series of updates to add some new sources, including vendors, professions, and those drops. Homebound is well on its way to being a comprehensive tool to help you find any missing decor, or even just to expand your housing XP, and I cannot recommend it enough. And last up for retail this week is a little bit of a reminder, and that is that the start of the Winterveil in-game holiday is this coming Monday the 15th of December. Winterveil takes place in Ironforge in Orgrimmar and sees Great Father Winter setting up preparations for his holiday gifting extravaganza, along with a daily quest to head over to the Hillsbrad foothills to defeat the abominable Grinch, for a chance at earning some of the rewards from previous Winterveil events. This fight was revamped last year, and we now get a free sleigh ride portal to the area to help save us some time. As I upload this video, we don't currently know what any of the changes will be for Winterveil this year, but on the 25th of December, a bunch of new gifts will appear for you under the tree at the event area. In previous years, this has usually included 1 or 2 brand new toys, and some of the gifts under the tree will also offer you additional chances to get some of the previous gifts that you missed as well. And Winterveil is also a part of the Waterlong Strange Trip It's Been achievement, which awards the Violet Proto Drake by doing achievements for most of the main holiday events in World of Warcraft. Now, moving beyond the retail game to take a look at what's coming up for Midnight, and this week we saw the delayed test event for the Midnight pre-patch event. This consisted of a short quest line leading us to the event area, which will be in the Twilight Highlands. Completing this opens up a couple of weekly meta quests and a series of world quests and rotating rares. The event awards a new currency, Twilight Blades insignia, that can be used to purchase a new mount, the Retrained Skyraiser, along with a very nice Twilight Cultist ensemble, some weapon appearances, and several housing items. The rares are kinda interesting, as they all involve a mini event to fill a bar defeating enemies, followed by defeating 4 summoners, which brings in the main boss. Defeating all of the bosses awards an achievement and a brand new mount, the Lightforged Mech Suit. Now, this required defeating a total of 19 rares, which is quite a bit asked given that that the event will last only around 5 weeks. The spawn rates of the rares did seem to be fairly decent, but I haven't yet had a chance to get a full handle on what the spawn pattern will look like. My personal hope is that we will see something very similar to the Shadowlands event, where the rares ended up spawning on a very strict rotation of one every 10 minutes, as that did allow us to figure out a timetable, making it a lot easier to complete the full set. This was by far, in my opinion, the best ever implementation of rares, and it's one that led to players gathering in advance and creating yet another fun social vibe. Given the number of rares that were being asked to defeat for this achievement and the 5-week time limit, this would be very annoying if it turned out to be a random spawn pattern. Unless, of course, those rares all had an exceptionally short respawn. And finally, we have a little bit of data mining news for mount collectors. This year's Chinese New Year's mount is going to be Scorching Valor, an awesome looking fiery winged horse. These mounts usually form part of the 6-month sub-bundle, and indeed the most recent 12-month sub-bundle did include a teasing silhouette which perfectly matches this mount. This will be available free for any players who have an active 6 or 12-month subscription that is set to auto renew. And that's it for this week's update. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts below. Do you like the idea of farming rares for a mount achievement in just 5 weeks? Let me know down below. If you found this update helpful, entertaining, or even just plain annoying, then you can also let me know by hitting that like icon. And if you want to support my channel to grow and help me to make more of these videos, along with my other content, then hit that subscribe button right now before you forget. If you don't want to miss out whenever I release a new video, then as well as subscribing, you can also follow me in social media for updates. My links in the description as well. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.